Hello, you beautiful people. My name is Josh, and for a start, thank you so much for joining me on my first ever YouTube video. Wait, what? My first ever YouTube? I cannot believe I'm saying that. But here we are. So thank you very much for joining me. If you want to like and subscribe, that would honestly mean the world. And if you want to place a comment, please share your experiences below. That's why I'm doing this, to share my experience, and I would love to hear about yours too. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So for my first ever YouTube video, I wanted to talk about my 10-year transformation that happened. I can't believe I'm saying it's 10 years ago now, but it started back in 2009. This was when I was at my most heaviest and my most unhappiest, actually. I was being bullied at school, being targeted school days, weekends. Online wasn't a big thing back then to what it is now. So it was less online, it was more at school, at the weekends out with my family. And I know I couldn't control what they were saying. The amount of times my parents came to the school, what the teachers were trying to do, and everything like that. Kids were going to be kids, and they were just going to keep calling me names. And that happened throughout my school life. And looking back now, it's changed me for the person I am. But at the time, it was the hardest thing I was going through, and I think the comfort eating helped with that. Obviously, I was eating anything at home, anything I could buy at the supermarket, and what people were giving me at school. And I think that comfort eating was just my blanket to shelter me away from everything, really. And it's not until I had a light bulb moment that I thought, no, I need to change something about this. So what I wanted to do is talk about 2009 first, and this is when I decided I need to change something. Um, as I was saying, I was being bullied a lot at school. It was mainly because of my weight and I was hanging around with the girls a lot and everything like that. So obviously I was a target, and it is a shame for that. But so I wanted to start by talking about 2009, and this is where I had the light bulb moment that I wanted to do something different with my life, obviously, to try and stop the bullies and to change what they were calling me, the names that they were calling me, and everything like that. Um, it was happening at school. They were calling me because of my weight, and also because I was hanging around with the girls. I was becoming a target for anybody that wanted to lash out at someone. I was there for that, and it is a shame that they do that. But I firmly believe it makes you a stronger person, and I wish I had the answers to tell you how to stop bullying, how to resolve bullying, or anything like that. But there is no right way for one person. Honestly, there's so many different, speaking to people, talking to the teachers, talking to your parents, counselling. There's so many different options out there, but I honestly believe it makes you a stronger person out of it. So even at weekends, it was happening when I was out with the family. I don't know how they found me, but they did, and it was hard. It was hard seeing my parents, seeing me having to go through that. It was hard. It's when they saw me being upset and being down, and then when they saw it physically themselves, I think that in itself, it was hard for all of us. And as I said before, the amount of times we went up to the school to try and sort it and everything like that, it just wasn't working. So what I did in 2009 is I decided, right, I want it to stop. Well, of course, I wanted it to stop no matter what. But in 2009, we went on a bike ride as a family, and I thought, well, this is the only exercise I have done in my life, except physical education class, but I usually hit at the back. So after that bike ride, I decided I need to do something about that. So I thought, I'm going to have a month off sugar, sweets, chocolate. It started with that, and then it went to crisps, cakes, biscuits, fizzy drinks, and a whole list of it. And that started for a month. Then it went to 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, so on. 10 years later, I'm still here doing it. I know. And I started to see slowly I was losing the weight because of the sugar. I wasn't really still exercising because me and exercise, we didn't have that love that most people do have, but it was just me just cutting out the sugar. Unfortunately, the bullying didn't stop, and it was still carrying on because all my good friends, they were girls, and there's no shame in that. But the bullies found obviously names to call me. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but I was doing something about it. I was feeling better in myself because I wasn't comfort eating. I was improving my health, stopping the sugar, and everything like that. So I look back at my time from 2009 to 2011, and I look back not just at the physical change, but I look as well as the mental change. From this 10-year transformation, it is more of a mental focus as well. And it's interesting nowadays, not much change mentally, to be honest with you. Because I was losing the weight from 2009 to 2011, it was slowly, it was gradual, it wasn't nothing drastic. It wasn't until later years that that happened more drastically. But I think my mental attitude still stayed the same because where I was being bullied, not it was constant from school, on the bus, at the weekends. I just think mentally you stay the same no matter if you've lost the weight or you're the same weight. You've still got that mental bug in your head, like you're calling the names that people have called you constantly. You're looking at yourself, you're thinking of your own insecurities, and that is tough. That is honestly, oh, I've I've done it for 10 years, so it's honestly I know where people are coming from when they say that, and it's just how we overcome those mental challenges, how we overcome those names that have been calling our head, how we overcome those insecurities that we think about daily when we look in the mirror. It's how we combat that, and I don't have the right answer for that, and no self-help book, no nothing will be able to prepare you for that. It's you that has to make that change. We need to start falling in love with ourselves. And I think sometimes the problem with social media and stuff like that is that sometimes it is that 1% where we think that person's life's perfect. And for me, I did think that. I thought everything was perfect for everyone else, so why me? Why am I getting victimized? Why I'm getting name calling? What, like, I wouldn't wish it on anybody else, but why was it just me? And now, speaking openly about it with everybody, I realise there are a lot more of us that are going in the same boat, but we just need to be open and honest. And I know people aren't confident enough to share those stories, but it is about getting them out there and realizing we aren't alone. We need to stop bullying, and I know that is easier said than done, trust me. Kids are going to be kids. We just need to find a way that we've got a release, we've got somewhere we can go to talk to someone. We can have like an outlet or something like that, that we can change people committing suicide, we can change people just thinking that there's no way out. We need a change, and we need people to start loving themselves and not listening to those insecurities and those names. We need to change that. So for me, as I said previously in the video, I slowly started losing the weight from all the sugar that I was stop eating, like what I had stopped eating. It did slowly come off, but then there was a point where I wanted the results to speed up, and I think that was the mistake where I started. I only did it for a brief period. It wasn't until later on in my transformation period where I started to do it again. But in school, I found myself, all I was doing throughout the day was just eating fruit or something like that, because I heard, oh, if you just eat fruit, you'll lose weight. So that's what I did. But then I started to become more lethargic, more tired, more aggravated, just more angry with myself, because what I was doing was just depriving my body, and just I was getting myself more in a wound up state when I got home, at school and everything like that. So mentally, that wasn't good either. So I did that for a couple of weeks. A couple of teachers saw, and they had a bit of an intervention with me and said, "Look, Josh, this isn't healthy. You shouldn't be doing this." And I stopped it. But I just carried on with my normal stopping the sugar, but just having normal breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And as I said, it wasn't until later on in my transformation period where I decided, right, let's do this again. So for me, exercise, it wasn't a big part. I did some physical education, I'd say once or twice a week, but I used to stand at the back of the crowd and not try and take part, or if I had an excuse, I would use that to my advantage. So for me, at this point, between 2009 and 2011, it wasn't a big deal. Um, my dad and my mum bought me some weights, but they stayed at the back of my cupboard, really. I didn't really use them, didn't have an understanding of exercise and what it was, really. Um, but yeah, I'd say mainly for me, it was just literally just cutting out all sugar. That's where it started slowly coming off. So being honest with you guys, I wanted to do this video to show you my transformation period. People are saying, Josh, I see no way out. I'm heavy and I've done everything and there's nothing more. But there is, I promise you that. People also on my social media channels are saying about the name calling and stuff like that, and they see no way out. There is, I promise you. If it's speaking to someone, speaking to your teachers if you're still at school or education, if you're at home, speaking to your parents, speaking to family members or counselors or anybody, best friends, if you find confident in them, speak to them about your problems. They might have solutions that you haven't thought of. And for me, it was my parents. They did everything for me, and I cannot thank them enough for that. They came up to the school and spoke to the teachers and tried everything in their power to make it stop. But for kids being kids, they're not going to stop whatever a grown-up says. So it carried on. But that was my outlet, speaking to my parents, speaking to my sister about my problems. So I promise you, it does get better. You become a stronger person out of it. And I wouldn't be saying that if it wasn't true. I believe now, looking back at that 10 years, that the bullying did make me a stronger person. Don't get me wrong, I still get names called to me now, like if I'm walking in a shopping centre, walking somewhere, and people just find it fun just to shout a name. And for me, it's hard, it sticks with you. Don't get me wrong, it does stick with you. And for that person, they might remember it for 2 seconds and then that is it. But you just need to remember, you are the stronger person. You've got through that your whole life. All that bullying, you've got through it. And regardless if it's a name online or in person, you just need to rise above it and remember you're better than them. You are better than them. So please just remember that. And obviously on the news nowadays, we're seeing a lot more people taking their lives because they do see no way out of it. And for me, that is heartbreaking. But we just need to remember, we need to get the message out there that talking is the best medicine. And I promise you it is. As I said, speaking to parents, speaking to loved ones, anyone you want to, speak to them about it. So please, please do that. So guys, I just wanted to thank you so much, honestly. Listening to my story, listening to my video, my journey from 2009 to 2011, about the transformation process mentally, physically, and everything like that. In the next couple of videos will be when I lost the most weight, and then one for nowadays with muscle and everything like that. And then I'll be talking about mental development and everything like that too. I just wanted to obviously do these, as I said before, to get the awareness out there. We are so... Being honest with you, we need to get these topics out there. As I said, on social media, we always see that 1% of sides, but I think nowadays we need to start being open and honest with each other, because it gets other people talking about it too. Not just seeing that 1% and then getting upset because they think everybody else's life is perfect. Why isn't mine? And I've been guilty of that, but you need to realize that that is social media. We need to get things changed. We need to sort things out for ourselves and get topics like this out there. Make sure you leave a comment. I would love to hear what you thought about the video, your stories yourself and everything like that. So please, please let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe. All my other socials are down below in my descriptions, but anything else at all, if you want to hear any of my stories, any more journeys, more videos will be coming, and I have more over on my Instagram page. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day, and yeah, sending love and positive vibes. Thanks, guys.